Positive frustration, yeah. You need to frustrate her, okay? Now, question one is, why? Chris, why do I have to frustrate her? Come on, man, I don't feel like doing this. You have to frustrate her because somewhere in her past or her recent past, one out of the whatever boyfriend she had was the negative challenge, and he provided her with frustration, with negative challenge. Maybe he was a cheater. Maybe he was a liar. Maybe he didn't want to commit. Maybe he didn't want to settle down. Maybe he strung her along, but she really liked him, and frustrates me. But he provided negative frustration. Now, before everyone gets crazy, I'm not saying copy this guy. I'm not saying be this guy. I'm saying we're going to do the positive version of what he did. We're going to create that same feeling with positive stuff, right? Because that guy set a benchmark for the highest she's ever felt feeling-wise. You know, when girls say, hey, I just don't kind of feel it for you, I'm just not feeling it, she's comparing you to him, right? So you can keep going to the gym, you can keep getting better shirts, and you can try to upgrade your car and your social media. But in the end, if you're not frustrating her, you're not matching that feeling, that highest feeling she's ever had. You date her for a little while, she's getting rid of you, or maybe she just doesn't like you. You're giving her no positive challenge, no positive frustration. So newsflash, you have to frustrate her. I know that scares you. I don't want to frustrate her. Chris gets mad. We'll get into all that, okay? Again, to put your nice guy heart at ease. Hey, I'm a good guy, a nice guy like you. I'm not doing anything mean. I'm not being a negative challenge. We are going to do it in a positive way. So what does that mean? You do it with humor, okay? You do it with challenge, meaning you're not around all the time, or you're not around as much as she wants, right? She wants a certain amount of you, you give him a little less, right? It's a challenge, right? I can't get him all the time. I can't get him on a dime when I want him. He's positively busy. And you can say no, politely say no, calmly set boundaries. It's frustrating. I wanted him to go to my sister's wedding, but I called him the night before. He said that, you know, there wasn't enough notice and he couldn't go. Jerk. No, you're respecting your time, you're valuing your boundaries. This is all fine. If that frustrates her a little bit, that's in a positive way. Because in the back of her mind, she goes, you know what? You know, this guy sticks up for himself. He values his time. I can't be mad at him, right? You didn't do it in a negative way. Okay, so humor, valuing your time, which is kind of being a challenge, and being able to politely say no. These are the positive things that can frustrate her. Notice I didn't say create drama, cheat with her best friend, steal her wallet, bro, ignore every message, show up to her house and smash the mailbox, leave a snake on her yard. I'm making jokes, but you know, you get the point. There's no mean stuff here. All right, so let's talk about how it all goes down. So the first thing that happens in the phases of frustration is you get a little more humorous over the text messaging, you're a little more silly, and she tests you. Oh, you want to be silly now? You don't want to be Mr. Logical, rational guy? Good morning. How are you? Now you're being funny, right? Being silly over the text messages. The first thing you're going to get is, what drug are you on? What's wrong with you? What were you drinking last night? You're being a little different. That's a test to scare you. Oh, I want to go back to being rational, normal, logical guy. I think she's on to me, Chris. That's the first test to see if you're going to get scared and go back to being the boring guy. Let's test him. Now, obviously, she doesn't go into her room and say, okay, today I will test him to see if this is natural, this is ingrained, he's acting differently, let me test him and see if he'll get scared and jump back. So you have to stick with it. A more humorous attitude, a more playful attitude, being more silly is going to frustrate her just a bit because she thought, I thought I controlled this tiger. Now he's going a little bonkers. What? I thought I had everything in order. Everything was set perfectly, and now he's acting a little outside the box. That is positive frustration because humor is positive. Light, fun, smiling, humorous. Again, not mean, dramatic, throwing things. That's not what you're doing. This is a positive challenge. And it gets her a little frustrated. Oh, I thought I had this guy, and now he's acting fun and silly. What the hell's going on here? That's phase one. You'd probably want to stop there, right? Chris, that's enough for me. Phase one's enough. Can we just stop? No, you're going to continue with it, right? Now that you passed the test, when she says, what drug are you on? You're going to write back something funny, okay? Now, you move on to phase two. Phase two is this. You're being a positive challenge. You're not around as much. Maybe you don't text as much, but the texts are more silly, more fun. You're politely setting boundaries, politely saying no, calmly sticking up for yourself. Now here is where she switches from testing you to now she starts pulling back a bit, right? Basically, it's a version of, you want to play that game? I'll play that game. Let's play, right? So now you get less texts. You get less offers. You get less good morning messages, right? She starts disappearing a little bit. Now, the difference is this. She's done this before, but she's done this because she was losing interest in you, right? She was bored with you. That's why she was cold and distant and pulling back. The difference here is she's doing this as a tactic. She's doing this to try to regain your attention. She's playing this game to get you. She's invested in you and thinking of you, or she wouldn't even play, right? She wouldn't even notice. Oh, he hasn't texted me in 3 months. I didn't notice. Oh, he was living in a cave for the last year? Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even notice he was gone. It's good if she plays back. But here's where guys get nervous. Oh my God, Chris, now she's texting less, Chris. You blew it, Chris, you jerk. He's gone. She's not gone. She's playing along. This is good. She's saying, oh, you're doing that? How are you going to react when I take a little bit away from you, sir? Uh-oh. And you get scared. But you've got to stick through that second phase of frustration. You keep up the humor, you keep up the challenge, politely say no. She's a little more frustrated. Now, here's where she swings back. She goes, all right, I tested him, he passed. I played the game back to him, he passed. Now, here's where I'm going to try to lure him in with loving stuff and good stuff. Maybe you get the best date offer you ever got. Maybe you get a compliment. Maybe she's really now coming at you hard out of nowhere. Whoa. This is great, Chris. I think this is it. This is what we wanted. She's back, baby. Yeah. Not so fast. This is another attempt to rope you back in to see if this is real. You got tested. She played the game back. Now she's being really, really nice to you. All right? Now, I'm not saying be mean back, but you also want to kind of diffuse that with confident humor, right? Be the prize. Be confident. Those are the things you want to do in this phase and not just jump back in with, being all mushy back with her, right? I miss you too. I know it's been so long, right? You want to keep it fun and confident in this phase. Okay. Now you've done that. Now she's being mushy back with you. I miss you so much. You got to come by. You never come by anymore. And then when you're kind of silly and joking around with that, now she's really mad. She's mad, and that's when we get into the fourth phase of everything. This is where she threatens or actually follows through a little bit with walking away, right? It could be in a text, it could be in something she says, it could be, this kind of vague ultimatum, threatening that she's gonna leave. Well, if you don't do that, don't even bother. Ooh, now she might leave, right? Or you're so humorous, or you just won't give in to what she's asking you. I wanted to talk about our breakup, and you just keep making silly jokes, and just stop. Just let's talk about what happened. And you're not going to buy into that, and you're going to keep it light and fun. She gets in her truck. She peels out. She flips you the bird. Screw you, pal. Done. Does a donut on your lawn. And you stay calm and you stay cool, right? Because she'll be back. She will message you again, right? And when that happens, then it's all over and you have won. She threatened to walk away and she could not walk away, okay? Now, this isn't like when she's breaking up. Because a lot of people get nervous. Oh my God, walking away, threatening to walk away, it's over. This isn't like when she's usually walking away from you. She's usually walking away from you because you lowered her interest. She's not into you. You're boring. She's breaking up with you. This is the complete opposite, although it looks the same. Yeah, she's threatening to leave and all this stuff, but it's because her interest is high. She's coming back. And when you come back kind of with your tail between your legs, showing you couldn't walk away, well, finally, you've kind of flipped the power structure. And again, I'm not going to get into too much with the power. I got to be power. I want to be in charge. I just say that it flips the dynamic a little bit, okay? You're back where you want to be. But it's tough because when they're almost walking away, you are going to get really scared and you're going to want to give in. But they will be back because they couldn't leave you if they wanted to, because it's a positive challenge. You really like her. You treat her well. You are a gentleman, but you're humorous and silly and happy and life is great, and you can politely slow her down. You say no in appropriate situations. You calmly set boundaries. You value your time, so you're kind of a challenge. You can't be chatting on Snapchat all day. You're running your business. You're at the gym. You're living your life. Yet you're doing all these things right. When you do this and frustrate her with the humor, the challenge, and the ability to calmly say no, you put yourself on par and then ahead of the negative challenge. All of a sudden, she's not thinking about him anymore. Yeah, well, he kind of had me thinking when he, crashed my car last week and, was hitting on my sister. But I can't even think about that. I'm too wrapped up in this guy and his humor and his challenge, and forget the negative. And I know this guy likes me. The negative challenge or the ghost of him disappears. She's focused on you, on positive frustration, on positive challenge. I know you may wish the world was different. I'm just giving you reality. And listen, don't be paranoid. Every girl needs a different amount of this, right? Like, you might meet a girl that just needs a little challenge. Hey, I was a little humorous and silly over text and she loves it. She's all into me. Or you may have the girl that, dated 6 bikers and she needs more of the challenge and more of the frustration. Fine. But the point is, every girl needs at least a little. I don't care if you were dating Mother Teresa. Chris, I'm dating Mother Teresa. She helps the blind. She runs a school for underprivileged. She doesn't need challenge or humor. Yes, she does. She needs a little. At least a little. Every girl needs at least a little bit of this, right? So don't think you got to go crazy with it or get paranoid. Chris, I don't think I frustrated her enough. A little bit of humor, a little bit of challenge, a little bit of being able to say no, okay? That's what you need to do, but every girl needs at least a little bit of this. So these are the phases. These are the points my clients get tripped up. They can't do it. The first phase, they even get nervous. They get tested on this, right? So quick review. At first, she'll test you. Then she'll play the game back to you, right? Then she will come at you and kind of be loving and mushy and try to get you that way. And when you diffuse that with confident humor, she's going to threaten or actually try to walk away from you, and then she will be back. And then you're on a better playing field. Then you will surpass the negative challenge that frustrates her in a negative way. This is the way to get the woman you want. This is why I harp on humor, challenge, and being able to calmly say no. Appreciate you guys watching the video. If you enjoyed it, hit a like. That helps out a lot. If you'd like to learn more, Dream Girl Formula book, I'll leave a link below. If you haven't checked this out, you're missing out. You're not getting the girl you want. Time's ticking away and she's slipping away.